Over the past 10 years, the Apple Watch has become an indispensable accessory for many, but once their utility wanes, many times they end up stuffed in a desk drawer, never to be used again. But around a year ago, a product called the TinyPod came out with the goal to change that. It was a futuristic iPod aesthetic case that turned your Apple Watch into, effectively, a dumb phone. Now, this was created by a designer as a side project. He has since seemingly moved on as their social media isn't super active, but as typically tends to be the case when someone has a good idea, the market kind of takes it and runs. And while the TinyPod came out with a plastic construction and $80 price point, it has since been white labeled, and you can find this updated aluminum version called the RePod all over sites like AliExpress for around 30 bucks. But as we take a look at this concept today, I want to try to answer two questions. Number one, is this an actual solution to upcycling an Apple Watch? Is it practical outside of being just a novelty? And two, could this be the answer to the dumb phone question that a lot of people have been asking? I'm certainly not alone in trying to reduce my dependence on screens, and while you can get widget tweaks that try to reduce the clutter on your home screen or entire phones using e-ink displays, I wonder if the Apple Watch might just be the obvious solution staring us in the face the whole time. Well, today we're gonna find out right after a word from today's video sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Spiegen's new Classic LS case, which pays homage to Apple's iconic old school design language in celebration of their 50th anniversary in 2026. These iconic designs feel right at home on the iPhone 17 series. The lanyard loop on the case back and the charging and speaker cutouts on the bottom echo the floppy disk port on the Macintosh, and the classic ridged lines found on a variety of 80s Macs highlight the camera plateau. Even little things like the shape of the buttons are designed to look like the keycaps of the old Apple keyboards and use the famous hello script. As a lover of all things vintage Apple, I really appreciate the care that went into making this case. It's clear that Spigen is in it for the love of the game. They totally nailed the aesthetic, and they did it without sacrificing functionality. There's still built-in MagSafe magnets under the case back, and those raised corners are great for drop protection, not just a cool aesthetic. Spigen absolutely nailed it, and if you want to learn more about the Classic LS case, check out the links in the description down below. A big thanks to Spigen for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to it. I'm weirdly excited about this. First off, we have the Apple Watch. I paid 120 bucks for this Series 6 with cellular. Oh, hey, I thought this was gonna be aluminum. It's stainless steel. Look, on the box it literally says aluminum 44mm, but clearly stainless steel. So hey, I'll take that deal. And ironically enough, we're just gonna take the strap and get rid of it. We don't need it. So let's take a look at this RePod. I just think this thing looks so cool. Ooh, it's so cute. Now wait a second. This actually feels really nice. It's all machined aluminum. We've got this nice rotary wheel. I'm not actually sure how that's gonna work. I really like the little orange accents everywhere. And this is a pass-through so that we can still charge on the back of the watch. So it looks like we just rotate that, remove this back plate. Again, very nice quality. Take out this little foam, and then, the Apple Watch just goes in there. The little rubber gasket in there allows me to still press the crown and the side button. Oh, and that is so clever. I was wondering how this rotary dial was going to work. Well, if you look on the back, there's a little rubber wheel. So there's like a gear that turns, and then as you rotate that, it's literally just gonna press on the crown and spin it. This is very clever. Let's put that back plate on, twist that. Look at this. The gasket fits super flush. You can see just a little bit of the curvature, but it looks really well integrated. And around the back, the tolerances are really nice. And now that the Apple Watch is in it, it's got a really nice weight to it. It feels super solid. I haven't even turned the watch on yet. Hang on a second. I gotta plug it in. Now it is upside down, which I was wondering when we were putting this in, because the buttons have to be on this side in order for this click wheel to actually reach the crown. Whoa. That's crazy. It's like an iPod scroll wheel. Dude, that's so sick. All right, we're gonna do right wrist, digital crown left. Yes, there it is. It fits in the hand so well. Now, the only thing I'm noticing so far is that the click wheel is not the most precise. You can see if I turn it really slowly, it doesn't really do a whole lot. You have to use it kind of quick. But because it's set in rubber, the haptics translate super well. It's really tactile. Let's see how this Apple Watch's battery health is doing. Oh God, it says service recommended. Oh no, 74%. All right, well, hey, look, that, it's a $100 Apple Watch. I'm not exactly expecting perfection. But like theoretically, this could be a really good way to upcycle your Apple Watch. I mean, there's like 32 gigs of storage. You could fit a whole bunch of offline music, use this thing as like a Bluetooth iPod. Or what I'm gonna do, which is use it as a dumb phone. And this kind of gets at the biggest problem with so-called dumb phones or smartphone alternatives. There's a whole range of ways to implement this, everything from the widgets that change how your home screen looks, to imposing screen time restrictions, to entire e-ink devices, or even things like the Rabbit R1 and Humane AI pin. All of these were intended to reduce our reliance on the smartphone as we know it. But the biggest problem that they all have is they require you to step outside of your ecosystem. Whether you're an iOS or an Android person, chances are you've been on that platform for years now, and it's really hard to make a sudden switch, or in the case of a lot of these devices, get a separate SIM card, a separate phone number just to use them. And that's where the Apple Watch actually makes a lot of sense. The cellular plans are typically a $10 or $15 add-on to your existing line, so you keep all of your contacts. You can make calls without having to change your phone number. You can check your email, use your existing music streaming service apps, even things like mapping navigation all work on the Apple Watch. And to be honest, I find them slightly inconvenient to use when they're on your wrist. But in the hand, this might be the solution. But if we're gonna use the Apple Watch as a standalone device that doesn't live on your wrist, adjustments need to be made. The first thing that we have to disable is wrist detection. With wrist detection on, every time we pick up the watch, we're gonna have to enter the passcode. And if you cover the watch for just a few seconds, it'll just go right back to being locked. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. So we'll go to settings, scroll down to passcode, and then we can turn off wrist detection. Now, in order to do this, we are gonna lose some features. It will not lock or unlock. We lose out on fall detection and emergency SOS. Heart rate tracking and notifications are turned off. Respiratory rate, sleep tracking, some activity measurements, and noise measurements and notifications. All of that goes away, and I think it's a worthy trade because one, now we get to use the always on display all the time, which I think looks really cool, and also we're not wearing this on the wrist anymore, so most of those sensors aren't reading anything anyway. But because this is an Apple Watch Series 6, we are going to be a little bit more limited. So in messages, for example, while there's the ability to just quickly go through and read messages just like a normal phone, replying to them is going to be a little bit more tricky because this one doesn't have the keyboard function. So we're going to have to either draw messages like, I mean, it gets the job done, but it's not the most convenient, or we can dictate. But hey, if the goal here is to set this up as a way to continue to be in the Apple ecosystem, not have to get another phone number and SIM card and all that stuff, but still reduce my dependence on screens, this kind of works. If there's any messages that are super pressing, I can check in and make sure that I'm staying connected. I can even make calls from this watch, but I'm not gonna be sitting here texting back and forth on this teeny tiny screen. It's like a built-in limitation factor. So once I had the Apple Watch optimized for use not on your wrist, I actually found that this was a surprisingly feasible thing to use. So the two questions that we wanted to address today was, is this a viable way to upcycle an Apple Watch? And is this a viable dumb phone alternative? And I think the answer to both is yes. I think the Apple Watch strikes a really nice balance between staying connected and not feeling out of the loop and not getting sucked into these distraction holes that we all fall into. For example, checking notifications. I could see all of the exact same things that I would get on my iPhone, but I couldn't click into those notifications and get distracted. So I would see something show up on Twitter, I could see what it was, but I didn't click into it and then spend 15 minutes doom scrolling. And as anybody who uses an Apple Watch to work out would know, when I went to the grocery store, went to the gym, I was easily able to connect AirPods and play my music. Now, initially I had a little bit of an issue trying to get this thing to AirPlay audio to my HomePod, but eventually I was able to get that to work, which meant that it's just reducing yet another barrier to the things that I'm used to doing in my day. I was able to use Apple Pay at the grocery store, and my gym membership scans through the Apple Watch as well, so that was no problem. Sending reactions or simple replies in the messaging app was no big deal, although that was probably the biggest limitation. And even things like plugging in walking directions in Apple Maps really are not a challenge at all. And so my overall experience here was really positive. And I know you might be thinking, hey, none of this is really new. The Apple Watch has had this functionality for years. But what's different is reframing how you use the Apple Watch. My first Apple Watch was a Series 5, and since then I use them on my wrist all the time, like a watch. But there is something about using this in a more phone-like way that, for one, feels easier to use. Having access to the scroll wheel and the touchscreen in the palm of my hand as opposed to on my wrist is a much more natural orientation. In fact, I'll say it, hot take, I prefer using an Apple Watch in this way. I mentioned earlier, I actually have stopped wearing an Apple Watch on my wrist, and part of that was that I felt too plugged in. Between having a Pro Max iPhone with battery that lasts me all day and a giant screen, and a 49mm watch on my wrist, it's a lot, right? You are connected at all times. I knew the second that somebody wanted to contact me because it was right there on my wrist. So going from that to having no Apple Watch on my wrist, just pure analog, and then having an Apple Watch instead of a phone, it really made me kind of understand the dumb phone argument, because I've always looked at it as a bit of a gimmick. You see things like the Light Phone 3. I've used a bunch of clips from their promo materials, and I can see how in a glossy, superficial reel like that, or for a certain type of person, that could appeal. But for me, it was never going to be the case, because it's too much activation effort to exit or sidestep my existing ecosystem. This is not that. This is every single notification that I normally get, every single text message, every call, my email, without me having to do anything. You set this thing up in a couple of minutes in the Apple Watch app, and you're good to go. It's way more convenient. It doesn't require me to shift my behaviors at all. But what it does is limit what I'm able to do. Like I mentioned, I can't sit there and type out War and Peace in the iMessage app. I can't go doom scrolling on Instagram or Twitter, but I can see what is happening on those platforms if I really wanted to. And so for that reason, I think that an Apple Watch does strike that balance extremely well. It removes the distractions without removing the connections. And I think that is the key aspect here. Now look, using an Apple Watch not on your wrist is not gonna be without its issues. Like right now, it's trying to read my heart rate and it's probably quite confused. It runs through the battery if you leave this thing sitting out overnight like that. And it's an Apple Watch, so the battery life isn't fantastic to begin with. And like I touched on earlier, using the scroll wheel to control the digital crown isn't the most precise interface. However, if the alternative is an Apple Watch that just sits in a drawer doing nothing, I think this absolutely makes it feel a little bit more useful. So yeah, I actually think this is a super compelling little concept, and at $30 or $80 if you want to support the original creator through the TinyPod, I think this is a great accessory. It truly does make it feel like we're gaining functionality, even if realistically it's kind of, a pretty case that you put your iPod in. Look at that, I even said iPod, it's an Apple Watch. It just feels so iPod-like. I like this thing, and I have to say, as much as I don't love the fact that this is kind of a ripoff of the original one, it is really, really high quality. For $30, I'm blown away with how solid and honestly very Apple-like this thing feels. So So yeah, I've got links for both the original TinyPod and the RePod in the description down below. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is this something that you would consider doing, or have you already done? As usual, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.